Jagannatham Devadevam Vrishakapim Purusham Purushashuktena Upatashte Samahitaha Tatra Gatva Jagannatham Tatra Gatva Jagannatham Devadevam Vrishakapim Devadevam Vrishakapim Purusham Purushashuktena Purusham Purushasuktena Upatashte Samahitaha Upataste Samahitaha Tatra Gatva Jagannatham Devadevam Vrishakapim Purusham Purushasuktena Upataste Samahitaha. Matajis. Tatra, there, on the shore of the ocean of milk. Gatva, after going. Jagannatham, unto the master of the entire universe, the supreme being. Devadevam, the supreme god of all gods. Vrishakapim, the supreme person. Vishnu, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. Purusham, the supreme person. Purusha Suktena, with the Vedic mantra known as Purusha Shukta. Upataste, worshipped. Samahitaha, with the full attention. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation. After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the Master of the whole universe, the Supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. With great attention, they worshipped Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Shukta. Purport. The demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshwara. He is Parama Purusha, the Supreme Being, Paramatma. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words. Jagannatha, Devadeva, Vrishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of the Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 12th verse, in this statement by Arjuna, Param Brahma Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Sashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is the plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva Deva. Namo Vishnu Pataya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Nitinamine. Namo Vishnu Pataya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvisesha Shunyavadi, Pashyad Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Katatara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Tatra Gatva Jagannatham, Deva Devam Vrishakapim, Purusham Purusha Suktena, Upatashte Samahitaha. After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the Master of the whole universe, the Supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. With great attention, they worship Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as Purusha Shukta. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing with this first chapter of this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is very special. As always, Srila Prabhupada used to say that, and also he titled it as Samam Bonam. You know, what is the meaning of the word Samam Bonam? You know, when you first see this word, it's actually a Latin word, which gives an explanation which is very apt to our, objective of life, that, it's the highest goal or the topmost goal of life. So today we are very fortunate that, we have been in this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya classes, and we have reached the Samam Bonam, the ultimate goal of life, in which, what is the goal of life? The goal of life is to understand Krishna, is to serve Krishna, is to do devotional service to him. So that is the Samam Bonam of our life. And that's exactly what we are going to discuss in this entire canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the 10th canto. So it's very auspicious, and having seen all the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam stage by stage, which Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas have described, as it's like looking at the Lord's feet, from the Lord's feet. The first and second cantos are considered to be the lotus foot of the Lord, and then going up higher by higher and higher, and now we have come to the beautiful face of the Lord. So it's wonderful that this 10th canto is very auspicious. Now, if you just recollect what happened before this 10th canto starts, that Shukadev Goswami has already explained about the dynasties of the sun god and the moon god. So all the people who are coming in the lineage of sun god and moon god have been explained. And Maharaja Parikshit was very much eager that now he has to understand this supreme personality of Godhead Krishna. And he wanted to understand his qualities. He wanted to understand his, the entire thing that he wants to understand about him. It was very, very, heartening for him to understand that. So that's why he put this question to Shukadeva Goswami that, I want to know about him. I want to know about that person, the supreme person. And that's the question which he kept in front of him. And to answer that question is this entire 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are all discussing today. And the entire, how Krishna performed his activities is all transcendental. Like what we see in Bhagavad Gita, that, fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what he says is that all my activities are very, very transcendental. And if someone who actually understands them as it is, he doesn't need to take birth again. So the point here is that what is the occupation of a liberated person? Say somebody who wants to get liberated or wants to achieve the highest goal of life. What is his occupation? The occupation of such a liberated person has to be that he has to hear from Krishna or he has to hear about Krishna. He only, he is more enlivened that he wants to hear more and more about Krishna. He wants to hear about him. He wants to hear about his pastimes, the nectarian pastimes of Lord Krishna. And how it helps, that's again Srimad Bhagavatam explains in the further chapters of 10th canto. We will see that, the hearing of the glorious activities of Lord Krishna is like a boat. Samashritaye padapallava plavam. Boat, plavam is a boat. So what did boat does? This boat helps us to cross this material nescience, cross this material ocean. We need a boat to cross the material ocean. Either it's a ship or a boat. We need something to cross. And what is that boat? That only boat which is available to us in this Kali Yuga, with only boat which is available to us in this material world, is only this hearing this wonderful pastimes of Lord Krishna, and especially this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what it says, Samashataye padapallava plavam. Mahat padam punya yasho murare. So that is the Mahat padam. All this, wonderful devotees or the pure souls, they are helping us to be a part of this boat. And why this boat is very important, plavam is very important, then we will be able to see, when we be able to achieve the Paramapadam. That Paramapadam is what? Is what to achieve the lotus feet or to attain the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vatsa padam patra padam, padam padam yat vipadam natesham. In this material world, every step is full of danger. And how we are able to, completely come out of this material dangers, it's only by jumping onto this boat, plavam, jumping onto this boat, which is by hearing about this wonderful pastimes of Lord Krishna. So that is very, very important. And what it also, there's another word, beautiful word, which comes in that verse. Before that plavam is called pallava. What is that? Samashritaye pada pallava plavam. Pallava means, actually Acharyas give two different meanings. Pallava is actually is flower buds. So it's a flower bud. So how is that flower buds, how it's going to add an adjective to the boat? So Sanatana Goswami explains that this pallava actually means the Lord Krishna. So unless we are able to understand the, the beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna, about this lotus feet of Lord Krishna, this plavam will always be very, very far from us, and with plavam is not even achievable by us. So the ultimate object of everyone's love is Krishna. And that's achievable only by hearing again and again this nectarian pastimes of Lord Krishna. So that is the gloriousness of this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we are in this first chapter, and today's verse has many beautiful names of Vishnu, names of Krishna. Jagannatha, Deva Deva, Vrishakapim, Purusha. So beautiful names of Krishna or Vishnu is being explained here. There are several names. I mean, Jagannatha, Srila Prabhupada translates everything beautifully. Jagannatham, unto the master of the entire universe. That is the meaning of the word Jagannatha. But he adds another adjective to it, the Supreme Being. Everywhere Srila Prabhupada has to emphasize this point that, he is a Supreme Being. Even though he is the master of the universe, he is a Supreme Being. And then what he does, Deva Devam, he translates as Supreme God of all gods. Deva Deva, that's again a simple meaning. And the third name which comes in this verse is called Vrishakapim. And first thing what Srila Prabhupada actually translates as a supreme person. So, and what he says is very true, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. So everywhere, wherever this names of Vishnu is been coming in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Purusham again, supreme person. So Srila Prabhupada doesn't lose his, takes this opportunity to describe again and again the same point. Supreme person, supreme being, he's a supreme Purusha. He is where everything has to be. He's a supreme, he's not impersonal. So that point is again and again brought again. And even the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, if you go, even Vishnu Sahasranam has 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. And the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, if you go through, there are thousands and thousands of names. And each name is very, very significant because each one describes about the activities of Lord Krishna, Leela of Lord Krishna, his wonderful qualities of Lord Krishna. So every name is very unique in this respect. So that's how it's another beautiful thing about this verse that, all the names, a simple message has been given that the demigods are going to the shore of the milk ocean. And here, that the opportunity has been used to name 3 different names of Lord Vishnu or 4 different names of Lord Vishnu. So that's really wonderful about Srimad Bhagavatam. That, every verse, that's what we also see in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That, even if you are not able to read, say, one full canto of Srimad Bhagavatam every day, read at least one page, or even at least read one paragraph, or read at least one line of Srimad Bhagavatam. That will always be glorious. So that's wonderful here. And here, the other thing which also comes, that Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, that why this word Deva Deva has been used. Why Deva Deva has been used? That all these Devas, they are all standing in the shore of this milk ocean. And mind you, these Devas are not these ordinary people like you and me. These Devas are also very powerful beings in this universe. They have been endowed with great responsibilities, and they have been, they are all very, very great souls. And they have some unique powers also. And what happens to all these Devas? They are all worshipable by millions of people. I mean, even today, all these Devas are worshipped by millions and millions of people across the world, even across India, you can say. And if you have any doubt, and this is the time, if you go to Kerala, you can see this lakhs and lakhs of people every day going to Shabarimala. How very, very devotefully and how pious, full of piety, these people, thousands and millions of people are coming every day, standing in, hours and hours to have darshan of this demigod. So, and even in here also in Tamil Nadu, various examples, even starting from North India, you can give hundreds of examples. How this, millions and millions of people are surrendered or, completely devoted to these demigods. And why are they devoted? Because they are in need of some boons. They want some boons from them. They want something in return from them. There was this, study which was done, or not even say study, as observation which was made, that, after this corona pandemic, the amount of people who have started going to these temples have increased manifold, it seems. Millions of people who used to go previously, now people are going in more numbers today. What is the reason for that? The reason for one can also be ascertained that, maybe for 2-3 years they were not allowed to go to the temple. So they are much more eager to go and see the darshan of their lordships. Or it can also be ascertained that, corona gave them a rude shock. That, we are all nothing here. We are all, a completely helpless condition. Even the so-called scientists will not be able to help us with all this modern medicine. The only way by which we can at least save ourselves is to surrender to all these gods, demigods, or whoever they considered them to be supreme. So millions of people are, even today throng to these temples, surrender to them, and, very, very devotefully they do their practices of, so-called devotional service, we can say. And very definitely these demigods are placed in a very higher pedestal. And today, these demigods, or coming and standing in front of the ocean very devotedly and asking for some benefit or for some help. They are in a helpless situation. See, actually, there are three kinds of beings in this universe. One is the Devagana, the second one is the Manushya and the third one is the Rakshasa. Now, the Rakshasa Ganas are the set of people who are completely against the Vedic scriptures or the Vedic parlance, or they don't have any of this understanding of having some, they have to follow some rules and regulations. They are complete rogues, you can say. So they are this, Rakshasa Gana. Now, in between are the Manushya Gana. The Manushya Gana are a set of people whom you can say that, they are in between the Rakshasa Gana and the Deva Gana. Sometimes they are rogues. Sometimes they are very pious people. And, depending upon the situation, they turn towards one side, you can say, Manushya Gana. And the third one are the Devaganas. Devaganas are very cultured people. They are given some responsibility. They are endowed with some responsibility. And why they are endowed with responsibility? You cannot give rogues some responsibility, right? You have to give some responsibility to some cultured people. Today, but unfortunately, we even give responsibility to rogues due to this so-called process called democracy. That's a different topic. So today what happens is this Devaganas have been entrusted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna with some responsibilities and powers. That, this entire universe has to be taken care of. The operation of this entire universe has to be done in a very smoothful way. So they have been entrusted and endowed with some powers. So this also what they are doing, even today, they are not able to help themselves, even though they have wonderful powers. Even cumulatively, they all come together, they are not able to solve their problems. So they are forced to go to the shore of this milk ocean and ask for help from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how they are asking? They are praising the Lord with beautiful names, Jagannatha, Deva Deva, Vrishakapim, Purusha. They have to come and actually every word, every praisefully, devotefully, they are coming and standing in the shore of the ocean and praying to the Lord. See, that is the fact. Here it again, Srila Prabhupada writes that he is a supreme person, he is a supreme being. Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Ekoyo Bahunam Vidadadi Kaman. Ekoyo, there is only one who takes care of everyone, including all the three. All the Manushya Gana, all the Deva Gana, all the Rakshasa Gana. Or even the 84 lakh species that are all wandering in this material universe. Everybody is taken care by this Ekoyo Bahuna Vidadadi Kaman. That this one person is taking care of everybody. Sometimes, people say Hinduism is a pantheistic study, pantheistic mode of mode. You know what is pantheism means? What is pantheism? Pantheism means it's a sect or it's a belief that there are a number of gods. Very many gods are there. That's the set of called pantheism. So people think that always Hinduism is, is pantheism way of worship. Actually, it might be true to a certain extent, but certainly it is not true. Why? Because, again, people don't understand this. Even today, the so-called Hindus, they themselves think, yeah, it's pantheism only. There are many gods. Everybody is powerful. We cannot, everybody is on the equal pedestal. Everybody has to be given the same respect. 99% of the Hindus who are living in this so-called Hindus or Sanatana Dharma or whomever you call, they are also think the same thing. So why there is a lack of knowledge? Because they didn't go through the Srimad Bhagavatam. They are not able to read this wonderful purpose of Srila Prabhupada and understand Srimad Bhagavatam as it is. So that is the wonderful opportunity we have today in this glorious month of December, that, we have this opportunity to go and give this wonderful literature to each and every house, meet each and every person. Give this, as a book distribution marathon, go and meet them. Remove their misconception. Remove the misconception that there is only one person, Ekoyo Bahunam Vidadadi Kaman. There is only one person, supreme being, who is, taking care of everyone. There's a huge opportunity today. That today, even say one person was asking us that, this book distribution marathon, where are you going to distribute those books this month? Many years we have been distributing books here in Salem. So when we said that, in Salem we are distributing this year also. So he commented, you must have done it for many years. Why don't you try somewhere else? Why don't you go and distribute these books in somewhere else? There are many places where they're all untouched. But the fact of the matter is, even Salem is untouched to greater extent. How many people are living in Salem? The estimate says that, almost Salem has a population of roughly 8 lakh people. 8 lakh of people are living in this city called Salem. And even to a certain estimate, you can say 90% of them are Hindus. Even you can distribute these books to other people also. So 90% of them are Hindus. And how many families would be there? Roughly 2 lakh families. Now, if there are 2 lakh families of Hindus living in the Salem town, and what is the literacy rate? Literacy rate will be again 70% of literacy rate. So roughly we have 1.4 lakh families who can read books are living in Salem, who are Hindus. So how great opportunity we have to knock on each person's door and explain to them about Bhagavatam, explain to them about Bhagavad Gita as it is, and explain to them that what is this actual thing all about? Who is the supreme person? Who is taking care of us? Whom we have to surrender? What is the summum bonum? Everything has to be explained to them. So it's a wonderful opportunity which we have got. So here, the Srila Prabhupada again explains this purport that, even for the demigod, see, it's very difficult for a common man, you and me, to understand this supreme Purusha, supreme enjoyer, supreme person, Krishna. So even I can understand that, a normal person like you and me, it's very difficult to understand him completely. At least people who are higher than us, the demigod, should be able to understand him in a much better fashion. But are they able to understand him? That's not happening. Even the demigods are not able to understand Krishna fully. Even they are not able to understand Vishnu completely. Even though they are all very powerful, they are not able to understand him completely. And what they thought that, we are powerful, we are like these local zamindars, we are like the local tribesmen, we can solve our own problems. What is going wrong? Everything is going pleasantly. There is no issues at all. So all these demigods were in a utopian world, living very peacefully. And there came the Bhumi Devi. Bhumi Devi came up that, there's a lot of issues here. All these demons, Rakshasa Ganas, are not allowing us to even, live. So it's a huge problem. And this Bhumi Devi came to this so-called powerful demigods and approached them. Oh, please help me. How we are going to manage this entire burden on me? And now these demigods are, just, coming out of their slumber. What they thought, what is going to happen? And then they went to this all powerful here, Srila Prabhupada writes, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, everybody, influential personalities supervising various businesses and establishments. They could not solve the problem. They themselves are not able to solve the problem. And what happened to them? Then Brahma understands that, yes, even this Kamsa, he's become very arrogant. He's not even giving proper respect to King Indra also. So the situation is very dire. Something has to be done. So then he leads this entire pack of demigods onto the shore of this milk ocean. And there they are, reciting this wonderful Purushashukta prayers. Purushashukta prayers are very, very auspicious prayers. Even today, if you go to all this Vishnu temples, every day almost this Purushashukta prayers are recited. It invokes the entire, actually, according to the acharyas, these Purushashukta prayers are, actually, in fact, Purushashukta prayers are appearing in all the 4 Vedas. In all the 4 Vedas, these Purushashukta prayers appear in different, there are 18 slokas actually, in which, some of the Vedas have 18, some of them have 10, some of them have lesser quantity, but all the Purushashukta prayers are there in all the 4 Vedas. And many of these Vishnu temples and other places, what they do is they invoke this Purushashukta every day, because it is considered to be the entire nutshell of Vedas being recited. So if Purushashukta is recited, it's actually invoking the entire Vedas being recited there. So Purushashukta is very, very auspicious. And we also do it every time when we are doing this, Abhishek, when we have this wonderful auspicious occasions, we also recite this Purushashukta prayer. So to here again, this demigods are reciting this Purushashukta prayers. What is Purushashukta? The Shukta means what? The glorification of the Purusha. Who is the Purusha? Purusha is the person who is enlivening everybody. He is enlivening us. He is enlivening the Prakriti. The entire Prakriti is being enlivened by one Purusha. And the auspicious prayers to glorify him is Purusha Shukta. So that's what happening here. All these demigods are there. And now in the latest shlokas, we will come to know that, Lord Vishnu actually passes on the message to Lord Brahma that what needs to be done. So what Lord Vishnu will tell is that uplift yourself. Now, okay, I am going to come. You people also go and take birth in various families of Vrishni. All you demigods, please take birth. And, it's now going to be an auspicious avatar going to come. Avatar is going to come himself. Lord Krishna is going to come. Supreme Personality of Godhead is going to come himself. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is going to come himself. So it's so wonderful that, he tells them that please lift yourself, please, enliven yourself, go and take birth in all these wonderful families of Vishnu dynasty. So that is Paritranaya Sadhunam. So whenever there is only to protect the sadhus, only to enliven the sadhus, Lord Krishna comes himself, either as avatar or he comes himself at various times. So why this, this very important Leela that is going to happen? We are going to see this in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Wonderful Leela which is going to happen. And this Leela is very important because, it is so auspicious. Multiple things, what we are doing every day in Srimad Bhagavatam class here, what we do, devotees do every day. What they do is, they actually hear about Krishna, they think about Krishna, they actually discuss about the Krishna's pastimes. That is the beautiful thing about this pastimes, about this Leela. Whereas the impersonalist, what they can do? What is there to discuss? Nothing to discuss. They cannot discuss anything. That's why they go on Mauna Vrata. Because once they start discussing, then, it's all fallacies, it's all, disjointed. You cannot even understand what's the philosophy completely. So it's better to be on Mauna Vrata. They go aloof, they go to Himalayas, they do all these things. Why they are doing? Because there's nothing to discuss, but we have wonderful things to discuss. And this is exactly what, Kunti Devi also tells, in the Kunti Stuti, that, Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Abhikshnashaha. That, continuously, Abhikshnashaha, continuously, Shrinvanti Gayanti. Every day, every moment, what we are doing, we are completely thinking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, Gayanti, singing about Krishna, Smaranti Nandanti, dancing the Krishna's glories. Smaranti, thinking about it. We are all very blissful when we are doing this. And what happens is that is Tavehitam Janaha. All the people who are the wonderful devotees, they are doing it every day, Abhikshnashaha, every moment they are doing it. And what they achieve by doing it, that's very important. What they are achieving, why they have to do it every now and then, what they have to do this pastimes wonderfully every now and then. That they are achieving is that Taeva Pashyanti Achirena. What they do is that immediately, Achirena, without any further delay, they achieve this, wonderful lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pravaho Paramam Padam Bhujam. That what they do is they immediately attain the Padam Bhujam, that wonderful Supreme Lotus feet, the Supreme Lotus being or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They achieve it. And what they are doing, every day they are doing it. Every now and then they are doing it. So that is very important. That, Srila Prabhupada writes is that Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are very popular. In fact, Bhagavad Gita is much more popular. Many people have read it. Many people are, doing some research on it. Many people are trying to understand it. But still they are not able to achieve that Padam Bhujam. Why they are not able to achieve that Padam Bhujam? Because the first one is very important. Shrinvanti. That first thing is very important. Shrinvanti is very important, that we have to hear from the right source. When we hear from the right source, then what happens is that, we understand that, what needs to be understood correctly. If the Shrinvanti is not done properly, then the entire course of action becomes completely disjointed. Then we take the wrong course, then we are in a wrong destination altogether. So, and what it does, the right source actually gives that Achirena. That gives that very quickly we achieve that Padambujam. So it's very important that the association of devotees, we all come here. we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we read Srila Prabhupada's purports. Why we are doing it? We also want to achieve Achirena. We want to achieve it very quickly, without any further delay. We want to achieve it. So hearing is very essential. Hearing is the most important aspect of our devotional service. Hearing is very, very essential. And the dealings of and there is no that's another thing, that when you go to the wrong source, then you are completely misled. What they will tell you is that whether we have to only hear the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is equally glorious than the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dealings of Lord Krishna with Pandavas is also glorious than his dealings with Lord Gopis. Dealing with Gopis also. But what they do, because of their polluted mind, they give much more importance to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. But because we have come to the right source, Srila Prabhupada has guided us that read from first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, understand the dealings of Lord Krishna with Pandavas, understand about every other thing. Then slowly we reach to the Samam Bonam, that is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is very important. Otherwise, there is unlimited things to be discussed. Even the material world is filled with unlimited things. Every day, see, what is this material world? Material world is filled with unlimited number of people. Everybody life is a drama. If we start discussing about every person, about him, everybody we start discussing, there is no end of this life. Everybody's life is a drama. Everybody wants happiness in their life, and he is not getting it. And every action what he is doing is a drama, because he is only doing dramatics to be happyful in this material world. And he doesn't achieve it also. He neither achieves it at the end of this lifetime. So instead of discussing about this unlimited useless things of this material world, at least we can hear about Krishna, which is also unlimited. So many things are happening, so many leelas are there. Even this lifetime is not enough to even discuss about all these leelas about Krishna. One good thing is that there is actually completely two different things. One is that we discuss about this material things in this lifetime, which is much more, captivating, might be captivating, and which might be much more binding in this material world. On the other hand, even more nectarian, much more captivating is the discussing about the Lord Krishna's pastimes, which is freeing ourselves from this material world. So what do we need? Either we need that plavam, that boat, in which we have to jump upon to cross this material ocean, or we keep on swimming in this material ocean by discussing about various people, history, general knowledge, encyclopedia, blah, 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 blah. So many things are there. Nothing will you be able to achieve after doing all this general knowledge, all those things. So by discussing all these things about this wonderful pastimes of Lord Krishna, we are all, we get this enlivened, we are enlivened by it. And this beautiful pastimes which are going to come in this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is also in unique leela. Lord Krishna's pastimes are unique. When you compare with the other leelas of, other avatars, he's an avatari himself who is coming this time. The other avatars are all completely different. They are much more formal. In this avatar or in this appearance of Lord Krishna, it's completely informal. He is, completely informal. There's other avatars are much more awe and reverence is there. Much more, blessings are given. The people are, go and worship them in mood of awe and reverence, Narsinghadev, Varahamurti, or all whatever you can say, Parashuram. But here it's a completely informal avatar which is happening here. And that's exactly in the first few chapters of Bhagavatam, what it is explained, when it is explained that Kapata Manusha, that, this avatar, this Leela is Kapata Manusha. Kapata means, deceitful. Deceitful. Also, it's what is explained, Srila Prabhupada explains in that second chapter of the first canto, when this word comes, Kapata Manusha, he explains that Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna appears deceiving everybody to be like a normal human being, Manusha. They came to show that they are like normal human beings. Manusham Tanumashritam. That they think that, this normal human beings are roaming around here. This Balarama and Lord Krishna, they're all normal human beings. Very deceitful. One anecdote which comes to my mind, Krishna is the greatest cheater. Krishna can cheat anybody. Krishna is the greatest cheater, and we, learn cheating from him. That's what Srila Prabhupada used to say. Once One of the devotee, came to Srila Prabhupada and told him that, no, Srila Prabhupada, I want to leave India. India is not a place for me. This place is full of cheating people. People are completely cheating. If you go to the marketplace, they are completely cheating us. If you go and meet anybody outside, this place is full of cheaters. I don't want to be in this place. I want to go back to West. And if you go to the marketplace for the same substance, they once they see that an white elephant has come, they immediately jack up the price 10 times. The same produce which is sold for 1 rupee, they tell you 10 rupees. Obviously, dollar is 80 times, so they have to increase 80 times. No, they are only increasing 10 times. That's okay. So, but they told that they don't want to be here. They want to go back to their original country. So Srila Prabhupada then told him that okay, that's what you understood. See, even I am an Indian, so I am also a cheater. If every Indian is a cheater, I am also a cheater, and I am the greatest cheater of everyone whom you have seen, because I am cheating you all the people for all these years. I brought you from your country. I came and told you that do this, do that, do this, do that. I'm not paying you any money, and you are cheated every day without getting any pay. So I am the greatest cheater. So what do you want to do? You want to leave me and go? So Krishna is the greatest cheater. And that is, and again it comes in the Sikshashtaka. Sikshashtaka, every day you people are chanting at 6:45. What is that word in Sikshashtaka that comes? For deceitfulness. Yata vitato lampato. That word lampato comes. What is that lampato? What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, even if you deceive me, you are my prananatha, you are my everything. I never will leave you. Even if you deceive me in all ways, in what you can do, I will not be able to leave you. That is the way in which surrender comes. This the entire topic of Srimad Bhagavatam is a very deep subject. Why it is a deep subject is that, see, this in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are discussing the demigods, who are very powerful people, they are coming and standing in a very pious way, in a very respectful way, coming and standing in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and praising Him. In some 20 chapters ahead, you will see that the gopis, who are considered to be like a normal human being, they go and chastise Lord Krishna millions of times. How to understand this? That the powerful beings are actually very, very respectfully praising the Lord in wonderful names, Jagannatha, Vrishakapim. They are wonderfully praising the Lord. And in another place, all the gopis are coming and chastising Lord Krishna. See, the point here is, that's again is the gloriousness of a pure devotee. That unless you surrender, that even if Krishna deceived me, I am Krishna's. That is very important, that the gopis were completely surrendered to Lord Krishna. What they told Krishna is that you are the biggest cheater. Even though we came out of our family, even we got bad name, everybody actually told very bad names about us. We came in dead of the night, and still you left us and went off. You are the biggest cheater. And still Krishna is happy by this, all this, the gopis, what they are chastising them, Krishna is very happy. Because there is a personal relationship between the pure devotee and the Lord. But whereas this demigods are still in the awe and reverence mood. They are not completely surrendered to the Lord. They are not completely surrendered. They have not got the personal relationship with the Lord. Srila Prabhupada used to quote this example of this district judge. A judge, when it happens that, on the day when he's sitting on the throne or whatever you call, in a judge seat, he is very, very respectful mood. Everybody has to be giving him respect. Everybody has to be in a very proper words, have to address him. The same judge, when he comes to his home, his grandson is actually jumping on his back, and the judge is actually walking like an elephant in his house. The same person, morning, nobody can even go near to him, and he can give you some punishment if you do something very disrespectful to him. And the same person, a small kid, is able to jump on him and asking him to go the left side, right side, go straight, go back, and all those things. That is the gloriousness of this personal relationship. So how we can also become personally related to Lord Krishna is that we have to get purified. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came only for that purpose, to teach us that we have to get purified. What he did is that, we have to get purified. What he said when Ramananda Rai was asking about, they were discussing about this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, go further, go further, go further. What first Ramananda Rai said is that we have to surrender to Krishna. And what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, go further. So what we have to do is also in our devotional practice is that we have to go further, we have to go further, we have to go further. Chanting is the essence. Even when we are in the starting stage, we have to chant as we are now. We are chanting every day. We are chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every day we are chanting. Even if we advance, so-called, if you think ourselves, we have to still chant. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting. He reached a stage where he was not able to chant. He was not able to chant because he was Pulake Rishitam Vapur Tata, what we see in Shikshashtakam again. That, hairs on his body was standing. He was completely, voice is choked. He could not chant. Even if you reach that stage, still chanting is the essence, because we have to get purified. So what we are doing is we are actually getting purified every day by chanting, by hearing, coming in the association of devotees, reading this wonderful 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. What we are doing, we are getting purified. Sukadeva Goswami says that like the waters of the Ganges, every word, every line, every sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam can purify the entire universe. And that's exactly what we are doing in this glorious month. We are going and giving this Bhagavatam sets to all these people, that at least their house can be purified, their entire life can be purified. So we take this wonderful opportunity that, what is the summum bonum, as I started this lecture, summum bonum of our life. The summum bonum of our life is to get the taste. Taste is everything. Taste for what? Taste for Krishna, taste for hearing, taste for chanting, taste for association, taste for reading Srimad Bhagavatam. That taste is everything. We are all, longing for the taste. Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that taste has to become. And how we will get the taste? By regularly chanting, by regularly, continuously reading, continuously associating, continuously coming to the wonderful schedule Srila Prabhupada has kept us for us daily. That is how we will get the taste. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And what? Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. That completely will get that bhakti, that pure bhakti will come, definitely will come to us. There is no doubt that it will miss us. Otherwise, what we can do? Srila Prabhupada used to say that, what are we going to do? Even in this lifetime, I'm going to chant, I'm going to read, I'm going to hear. Okay, even I'm not going to take millions of lifetimes. Even consider that. Even in millions of lifetimes, I have to do that only. Is there any other thing I can do? There's nothing else to do. If you start doing anything else, then you will not be able to come out of this material world anyway. So even if this is a last lifetime or millions of lifetime, we have to do this only. Every now and then, every day, every moment we have to do. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So this is wonderful that we have to understand these deep concepts which are coming in this Srimad Bhagavatam, that even the demigods, even they are powerful, even they are not able to understand Lord Krishna as he is. And even they are not able to see him. Today, what is happening here, they are standing in the ocean of this milk ocean, and they are praising the Lord with wonderful Purusha Shukta prayers. Still, Lord is not coming in front of them. Lord Krishna didn't come in front of them. Vishnu is not coming in front of them. Only Lord Brahma is given a telepathy message that, I'm going to come, please go. So to conclude, Srila Prabhupada used to say that once Srila Prabhupada was asked that, Prabhupada, what is your, what's the objective? What are you going to do? What is your plan? Srila Prabhupada said, my plan is to go to Goloka Vrindavana and steal Lord Krishna's laddus. And that is the gloriousness of this wonderful devotee, pure devotee of the Lord, that he is given the opportunity to directly relate to Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. Even if you become so powerful like the demigod, still you have to stand in the shores in a very respectful way and wait for the telepathic message from Lord. So it's always very glorious that, we surrender to the Lord. We get the taste. We completely get the taste for this Krishna's pastimes, hearing about him, chanting his glories, and then our life will be successful. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any comments? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय।